Yo, Hendor, average use Slo-Pitch. Today, we're bringing out a couple one pieces, relatively newer models. Obviously, the Juno MR3 has been out here for a little while, but we haven't got a chance to really swing it. Picked one up recently. Shout out to my buddy Bishop Harris for getting me squared away with one of those. We've also got the new 12-inch Tantrum from Easton, and then we've got the Anarchy Fat Boy. So we figured with the way the weather's been around here, it's been tough kind of finding a time to hit when it hasn't been too cold and or rain, wind, all that kind of fun stuff. So why not just throw all the one pieces on one video together, see kind of how they perform, and then we'll kind of split them up and do some like TikTok reels type stuff, Instagram reels, all that with them individually. But either way, we're gonna start with some 52s, get about 20-ish swings on each just to see how they handle them. And then from there, we'll push over with our normal Pro-Ms. We've got the ZNs, the regular ZN Thunders, not the stadiums, anything like that, so Pro-Ms. And then we've got Gold Dots and our DeMarini Razzos. So we'll get some swings on those. It's about 60-ish degrees outside. I'm obviously hitting here under the lights. Bats, balls, everything's been inside, so we should have no issues as far as that goes. We'll go ahead and throw these on the tester real quick, see where they're at, and then we'll get some swings on it, come back with final impression, final thoughts. All right, let's test our 3 one pieces real quick before we throw them here on video. First up, the 12-inch Tantrum from Easton. This is that World Series edition, as mentioned in the intro. And this one's testing like right at 250, pretty much to be expected kind of from the Tantrums at this point. Then we've got the Anarchy Fat Boy one piece as well. Let's go U-Choice stamp up for consistency. Dial this one up to 0. Nice little new back crunch there. About 255, 260. So kind of nice starting point to be nice and even kind of with the Tantrum. And last but not least, the Juno MR3 here as well. And dial this one up to 0. Way too far. Do that again. To 0. And about 260, maybe 265. So either way, let's get some swings on all of these here with our Pro-M balls, and we'll come back with final question, final thoughts. All right, up first, we're going with the Juno MR3 with our one pieces. This one that we're swinging is a 26-ounce, 1-ounce end load. Again, these are one-piece barrel, 12.5-inch barrel. Gonna go ahead and start with 52s, kind of break the barrel a little bit. You saw the starting compression there, right at about 260 if I remember correctly, and then we'll swap over to Pro-Ms.
100 miles per hour.
There's a nice ASA swing with this baby.
89 miles per hour.
Woo-wee.
96 miles per hour.
Little low of the sweet spot on that one.
89 miles per hour.
You found your mark.
Yeah.
98 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Dude, that ball flew off. And I mean, it's hard to tell the sweet spot with the ASA. I don't think that was the sweet spot. I'm hoping it was, because that ball got out of here fast.
92 miles per hour. 103 miles per hour. 92 miles per hour.
There it is.
97 miles per hour.
Oops. Definitely don't want to go near the fastest players, but that's going to be it for our ASA balls. Let's go ahead, hop over Pro-Ms and see how well this thing performs. All right, Juno MR3, Pro-Ms, Razzos, Gold Dots, ZNs, no hardcores, no stadiums, nothing like that. See how this bad boy performs. Started compression 260.
108 miles per hour.
Bro, 108 on the first Pro-M swing?
Over here.
92 miles per hour. 105 miles per hour.
Whoo-wee.
92 miles per hour. 105 miles per hour.
About as consistent as you can want from a one piece. Great feel, great feedback. Again, a whole lot of fun. We won't put a ton of swings on it because as we know, the Junos are game ready, but they're so fun to swing, you almost never want to stop.
88 miles per hour.
There's one.
Oh my goodness.
97 miles per hour.
Dude, that's towards the end of the bat. Halfway into the tree. Whew.
93 miles
There
per
it is
hour.
right there in the gap.
Beast, dude.
One more.
96 miles per hour.
Holy moly. Well, there's one way over the trees. it's just, this is what Big John Williams was swinging at the Major World Series. And boy, this bat was cooking.
94 miles per hour.
Yeah. Nah, this bat feels real good, man.
That might be one of the hardest balls you hit.
Yeah, I mean, and then I've always been a fan of 12.5-inch barrels all the time because of how good they control. And again, one pieces, they always feel great, but all in all, you know, MR1, MR3, whatever it is, Juno's always made a really good bat, man. I've enjoyed everything that they've been coming out with, so good option.
98 miles per hour.
All right, I got to stop before we put too many swings on this thing, but there you have it. Juno MR3. We were smarter than with our MR1. We're limiting this thing to about 40 Pro M swings, 20 to 30 52s. We're gonna let it sit here for a little bit, pick these balls up, and we'll come back with final compression, final thoughts. All right, Anarchy Fat Boy. This one's a 12.5-inch barrel, 1 ounce inload as well. So this is a 26 sticker. So same exact specs of MR3. Again, 52s first, followed by Pro Ms.
97 miles per hour. 88 miles per hour. 86 miles per hour. 100 miles per hour.
Just like the MR3, it's got a good feel with the 52s for sure. Not quite as much of a crack off the barrel, but it's still definitely usable for 52s.
87 miles per hour.
I told you it's consistent
Yeah,
with 52s.
it's very consistent and then easy to control, man. But again, I think that's just 12-inch barrels, period. I mean,
That 12.5 is money.
Yeah.
86 miles per hour.
All right, here we go.
Good?
101 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. I mean, you can get triple digits with 52s on a ASA or on a U-trip bat with ASA balls. You can't ask for much more. Pretty good feedback. You know when you're catching the sweet spot. Let's go ahead, hop over to Pro M's and really see what it's all about.
108 miles per hour.
There's 108.
Well, there's the sweet spot for you.
88 miles per hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Junior's hitting the ball tonight. Ball sounded.
93 miles per hour.
It didn't sound, but it was just a different sound on that one, though. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the sound's gonna be different, different tech. This is that ACX7 composite they use, but I think they call it carbon matrix. But either way, yeah, you don't have the MR3 sound,
Yeah.
but
Well,
the
yeah,
ball's
but
still
I
coming
mean-
off good.
Like, it seems on one side of the bat, it sounded different than another side.
Yeah, I'm trying to rotate it as much as I can too, but I mean, so far ball's coming off good, so definitely excited for that.
85 miles per hour.
That's pieced.
Yeah.
105 miles per hour. 89 miles per hour.
Yeah, man, this bat definitely feels good. Been rotating it and very consistent all across the barrel. But again, you know, easy to control. Cutting the ball, lift, all that good stuff.
103 miles per hour.
So that's the first one. I definitely missed low. You could feel it on the hands being that stiffer one piece. But hey, to be able to get 103 forgiveness low of the sweet spot, you definitely can't ask for more than that. And the sting wasn't that bad. It's just you can tell where you caught it on the barrel, which is great.
89 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, no complaints. Anarchy makes a good bat. I've never had any problems with it. At 12.5-inch barrel, Easy to control, feels good on the hands, good forgiveness. All in all, good bat, like it.
All right, so through 2 bats, right? If we're giving a score out of 10 here, what are you giving the MR3?
10.
Okay, so a 10.
10. Because of the control, the sound, the consistency all across the barrel and all that good stuff, I'm giving that a 10.
And then where's the Fat Boy fall within that 0 to 10 range? Like how much of a drop off are you going from MR3 in your opinion?
Like as far as...
So if we're calling, let's say we're calling a 7, or we'll call it a 6, like it's just average, it's right there with everything else. 10 is like your high end, it's one of the elite bats.
Yeah.
And then, so would you say it's average? Would you say it's a little bit above average?
Oh, no, I'll give this above average. If 7 is average, I'll give it like an 8 or a 9.
8-ish.
I mean, it's not an MR1 or an MR3, but I mean, I'm not saying no to it. It's still a good bat. It's above average for sure. It feels good. It sounds great. So I'd still give it above average for sure.
95 miles per hour.
Yeah, and that'll do it for our Fat Boy. Again, those 12.5-inch barrels just, they do it differently. Good overall sound. Really forgiving for a one piece, which is great. The feel in the hands definitely give you an idea of where you caught it, which is great. A little performance drop off from the MR3, but I think that MR3 is really a top of the line one piece. What's really gonna matter with all these is the final compression, but let's go ahead. We're gonna jump over finally to the last bat, the Easton Tantrum 12-inch, and then we'll come back with final compression, final thoughts for all 3 bats. .52's on the new and improved Tantrum. Junior's about to fall in love. And it's a 12-inch.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
94 miles per hour.
Little on top, but right away you can feel like it's not like a big pillow and the ball's doing 80 or 90, you know what I mean?
It was like every Tantrum.
Yeah. There it is.
92 miles per hour.
Yeah.
92 on a nice easy swing, baby.
96 miles per hour.
Man.
The base is gonna do this.
Yeah.
Right here.
It feels good.
83 miles per hour.
Yeah, man. Great feel on the hands, great control. That super soft, pillowy feel is pretty much gone. So,
all right, Easton Tantrum one piece. This is the 12-inch Worlds model. Going Pro-Ms. We got Razzos, ZNs, Gold Dots, no stadiums, no hardcores, nothing like that. Let's see what it's all about.
98 miles per hour.
Goodness, goodness. Yeah, a definite feel difference in this shorter barrel in the Tantrum. It reminds me a lot of the new Bedlams, the World's Edition, Military Edition, and then like the Combat Bradley Jones as far as stiffening the barrel up, which for me is a game changer because I thought the barrels were way too soft.
85 miles per hour.
okay. Initial thoughts are still good.
102 miles per hour.
God, I got to the fence quick.
88 miles per hour.
Little on top of it, but man, now it's just a different feel. It's just all different, man. Big time different.
105 miles per hour.
You okay over there, Junior?
Yeah. I pitched, I just kind of turned my face. I heard it whiz by.
It almost like curved around the net and came after you like that movie Wanted, curving bullets.
Like that stupid red shell from Mario Kart.
94 miles per hour.
Yeah.
108 miles per hour.
God, dude. Oh man, the barrel's changed. That's all I can say about it. Definitely changed from the other Tantrums.
92 miles per hour.
Man, this bat feels good. This bat feels good, man.
106 miles.
Oh, and foul. What a loser.
Beer better.
89 miles per hour.
Yeah. Man, this bat feels good.
Pissed on, dude.
Yeah.
107 miles per hour.
Just so consistent. End load's great on it. I mean, so far, absolutely no complaints. See what the test does on it compression-wise. But if all of them pass, we had 3 great one pieces all in the same video.
99 miles per hour.
Man.
99 for El Junior.
107 miles per hour.
3 seconds, baby.
Bro, we're
101 miles per hour.
We cleared the left center trees that time. Well, that's gonna do it for the tantrum. We'll talk about the final thoughts. That thing's a whole lot of fun.
92 miles per hour.
Oof. All in all, guys, this is a much different bat than you're used to seeing from Easton. Usually you get a real soft barrel, soft, pillowy feel, but you get a lot of performance. I wasn't a fan of it, but this is a much different bat. Definitely like this Tantrum better than any of the other ones that I've swung before it. So,
all right, so you gave the MR3 the top spot originally at, let's just call it a 10, whatever, the elite tier. You had the Fat Boy, high 7s, maybe 8 for above average. Where does this one slot in?
You know, I'm gonna put it right up there with that MR3 because of the way it feels.
If you had to pick one, which one's the top bat? Like, so if MR3 is your top bat and we give it a 10, this can still be 9.9 or vice versa. Which one, if I said you have to take one out right now and go game it, which one are you gaming?
I'm gonna be a little bit more favored towards the MR3, and only because it's very close. Like, they're both very, very good. I mean, even if somebody was like, hey, I'd rather pick this one, then I wouldn't fault them. I mean, I like the sound on that one a little bit better, but all in all, I think we're forgetting that which one's gonna pass compression, because a lot of guys care about that stuff. You know, a lot of guys are wanting a bat. Like, this is great, I mean, but if you're somewhere where compression is a problem,
we'll find out.
Yeah, you're gonna find out. I mean, that's I think what should decide. Not, you know, not preference. If you're somewhere where they test bats and compression's a problem, then we're gonna see which one holds.
Yep, and as Junior mentioned, we're gonna pick up these balls real quick, and then we'll come back, get you final compression on all 3 bats, and then I'll bring Junior back for a real quick final thoughts and see what kind of the final ranking is for these 3. But a fun night with 3 great one pieces, all of them performed great, so not a lot of negatives to say there. We're gonna go ahead and pick up before this temperature really starts to drop. All right, in the same order we swung them, we're gonna go ahead and see where these things tested at. We got all of the bats right at 20 52s total, and then right at 40 Pro-Ms, give or take 5 or 6. Again, we use the Pocket Radar app to kind of give us the readouts on the number of swings. But let's see where our Juno MR3 is. I believe it started at 260, 265. Tried to limit the amount of swings on it because, again, these Junos are game-ready tech. They're not meant to be BP'd the way that we obviously do so here. But let's let that thing sit at 0. And we're sitting a little bit under 250, so let's go ahead and rotate this, or sorry, a little bit under 240. Let's go ahead and rotate this thing one time, see where it's at on this one. Again, this kind of colder weather, putting swings on it. Again, not meant for this type of BP. We should have, if you're gonna buy one of these, you're gonna wanna BP them with 52s and leave it at that because of just how good they are. Make sure I got that thing sitting on 0. Yeah, and so we're looking at about 230, 235. So it is failing at this point. We'll throw the calibration disc here on the end after we test all of them just to show that the calibration is good to go. A couple factors. Obviously, even though it's cold, we did just get done swinging all of these. So if we let them sit, you'll usually see that compression go up 5 to 10, which could put us right at passing. And again, as I mentioned, if you're gonna buy one of those for game use, it is meant to be BP'd properly, which is 52s, not many of them. Rotate it, get used to it, and then just game it. Again, Big John Williams used the MR3 all year on Nitro Circus. I think he had two MR3s that he kind of rotated through, and they both lasted nearly the whole year. So when you're only gaming them, not putting the constant repetition on them, you will see them last obviously significantly longer. And when you BP them correctly, which again, for the purpose of the video, we're showing you how these things perform with both types of balls, so we have to put the swings on them. For the Fat Boy, this one is sitting right at 250, maybe a hair above, so kind of to be expected. Didn't move a whole lot. I want to say this one started at 260, so I mean we got about a 5 to 10 drop. The other piece of the puzzle here is we are at a little higher elevation than obviously like Florida, Georgia sea level stuff, which we have found that at times.
88 miles per hour.
stupid hospital at times does make about a 5 to 10 difference in PSI as well. So some different factors for anyone who's unfamiliar with testing. And this side here is still 260, didn't really move at all. So just something to keep in mind with the Fat Boy. And then lastly, the 12-inch Easton Tantrum Worlds Edition. Another one started, I think the lowest of the bunch, right around 250, 255. Again, not meant to be swung the way we did it as well. This should be another bat you're BPing with 52s, getting it comfortable with it, and then honestly stopping swinging at that point. But let's see what we did with the compression on this one. And this one's sitting directly on 240. So right at passing, which is good to see because again, from swing number 1, this thing was pure gas. No need to BP it at all. So again, I know I've beaten a dead horse here, but BP your bats correctly, break them in with 52s. Not many bats these days need Pro M swings. If they start compression 275 or less, they do not need Pro Ms, that's for sure. And the other side sitting almost 250. So we got about 240 to 250 here on this one. So 260 to 250 on the Fat Boy, 250 to 240 on the Tantrum, and just under 240 on the MR3, which again, we've seen it with like the MR1 and stuff. If we let it sit for about a day, after we've swung it, all that kind of stuff, it will still pass, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in the final thoughts. All right, and we're swings and final compression complete here with the 12-inch World's Tantrum, the Juno MR3, and the Anarchy Fat Boy. Again, the Fat Boy, 1 ounce end load, 12.5-inch barrel. We had a 26-ounce model. Juno MR3, 12.5-inch barrel, 1 ounce end load is what we chose. Again, with Juno, you can kind of go on their website, pick whatever you want. And then the Tantrum is a 1/2 ounce end load, 12-inch barrel, 26-ounce model. So they're all 26s, big differences. These two are 1 ounce end loads and then a 1/2 ounce end load here. But with all in all, with all that kind of being said, you saw they all performed great. You could game any of these. With them, you kind of got to keep different things in mind. If you're somebody who likes to BP, and again, not everyone has the chance to buy a whole bunch of BP balls. So if all you've got is kind of old game balls, Pro Ms, whatever it might be, these two are not going to be the bats you're going to want to swing with those types of balls. The Fat Boy is still sitting right at 260 on one side, 250 on the other. So you could definitely get away with kind of the Pro M swings. Just make sure you're rotating that barrel. Still felt really good. We saw the sweet spot was absolutely cooking. A little bit, the big one, kind of interesting part on this one was the forgiveness was a little less towards the end, but it was still really good lower. So that'll probably change as you open it up a little bit more. But that is something I kind of noticed with that one. Whereas with the Tantrum and the Juno, yes, the sweet spots were gas, but they were so forgiving. You could kind of catch them anywhere. And even though you got that feel of, okay, I caught it high, caught it low, you didn't see very much of a drop off in performance, ball carry, all that kind of stuff. So for me, if you're somebody, and I think Junior's kind of on the same page here, I'll let him talk about it in a second, but if you're somebody who cares about testing, I'm not saying to shy away from the MR3. Again, if you don't know who Big John Williams is, look him up on Facebook. He absolutely smashed with this model all year with Nitro Circus. I think he went through maybe 4 total bats all conference year. Again, we're seeing hardcore stadiums, a lot of the harder balls. But if you BP this correctly, which the correct way to BP really any kind of game-ready bat, which is your sub 275 compression, is going to be 52s, rotating the barrel, get comfortable with it, maybe 60 to 80 swings at most with those 52s, and then just game it, you're going to see these last a long, long time. Big John played the AA and the major, for instance, during the World Series, obviously, and he swung the same MR1 or MR3, which passed going in AA. He put a bunch of swings on in during the AA's. They played a lot of games, and then it was still passing going into the Major World Series. So just keep that in mind with them. There's a lot of factors that go in kind of the testing piece of it. Temperature can play a part, elevation, how recently you swung them, all that kind of stuff. So just kind of something to keep in mind. I wouldn't buy too much into that. Again, the way we hit these bats, we've talked about them before. We have to put the Pro Ms on them to show you how they perform. We usually put a little bit more swings so everyone can get their swings on them, everything like that. This is not how I would BP these to break them in and have them ready. So just kind of keep that in mind. With the Tantrum, if you do care about bats passing based on what we saw today, purely off of today, I would put the Tantrum as my #1 bat, but as like a 1A, and the MR3 as a 1B, just because, again, I think you could swing another MR3 the same way we did today and get that one to pass right at 240. So it's going to be kind of that 50-50 gamble. Just make sure you treat it right. And then not to really knock the Fat Boy, it's still the higher compression of the 3, so there's definitely break-in period for it to catch up. It doesn't have a significant drop-off. So again, we kind of talked about the 1 through 10 score. What you'll see on the Average Dude Slow-Pitch website when all 3 of these make it on the site is both of these will be in the elite tier, and this will have a slight drop off in the above average tier. So what that really tells you, and again, a lot of it's personal preference from us out here, but you'll see on there, if you haven't checked out our rankings before on there, we've got kind of sweet spot performance, we've got the forgiveness, and then we kind of put swing weighting on, hey, does it feel absolutely perfect for its weighting? It's a little heavy, things like that. And so again, you'll have elite tier up here with these two. a very, very slight drop off by maybe a point or two here as well. But all three smashed 52s, killed the Pro-Ms. I think everyone kind of really liked the feel of them. This one's, I think the piece that kept it just from being where these are is the slight lack in forgiveness compared to these two, but it could be a compression piece as well. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. I'll let Junior talk about it real briefly, and then we'll wrap this thing up and get you guys out of here.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like Hendo was saying. I mean, if you're somebody that cares about testing, and you're somewhere that they're gonna definitely knock you on that, by all means, you know, if you do the swings properly, you'll definitely find that the MR3 is a formidable option. But again, you know, that doesn't mean that the Tantrum or the Fat Boy are, you know, just toss them off to the side. Again, they're all three very good bats. I mean, not that the Fat Boy will not make that tier. Maybe it just needs a couple more swings, you know, more getting used to. But all excellent bats, easy to control. I've liked all three of them. But again, when it comes to feel, the MR3 was my personal favorite. But again, if you're gonna be somewhere where you're gonna be tested and you're gonna ignore that portion of taking the proper swings to get it to where it's supposed to be, then by all means, that Tantrum's gonna give you a little bit more forgiveness if you're gonna swing those Pro-M balls. But all in all, I mean, again, very, very good bats, all three. I got nothing negative to say about them. These are all things just to keep in mind whenever you're swinging these bats. It is going to play a big difference in compression if you're somewhere that matters.
Yeah, and really the last piece to wrap this up, get you guys out of here. But with the winter months obviously coming up, depending where you live, you're already in the winter months. For us here in New Mexico now, early November, I think, what is it, November 5th day, whatever the date is, it's finally starting to get a little cold. But know your bats as well, and make sure, one, you're keeping your bats, whatever BP balls, inside. I know when you go to tournaments, league, you can't determine where the balls were at, but at least you can manage these bats were inside, not in my car. If you had them in the car all night, then you take them out of there, put them in your house for just a couple hours and bring them out, the composite, everything's still gonna be cold and you're gonna risk breaking them. And then with that, like the MR3, this isn't a bat I would classify as a winter bat. If this was something I'm gaming, I would use it still in tournaments, because obviously when I go to tournaments, I want the best bat I can use, but I'm not gonna be out here BPing the MR3. For me, so far, the Rawlings bats have seemed fine in the winter. It did fine for us last year in the winter as well. I'd have no problem using the Tantrum, bats like that. Fat Boy seems fine in the cold weather. If you're a DeMarini person or a Louisville person, Louisville, honestly, I would just stay away from them in the winter as well. If you absolutely have to swing them, make sure you got 52s and make sure all your balls are staying inside before you hit them. DeMarini side, get you Nautilus Tech. If you're like, for me, I've got the red bat, which I know was mostly gray with some red earlier in the year. That's what I'll be swinging. Actually, I think the Junior's gonna be swinging too this winter. For our swings, for me, it's a 13-inch barrel, same as my Culture, which is what I've been gaming lately. So I can still get kind of a similar feel, but I can save that APC Tech, which isn't really meant for the winter. And that goes on and on. Monster, not meant to be swung below 60 degrees, things like that. So just kind of keep that stuff in mind. If you're unfamiliar with kind of what bats you should swing in the winter, which ones you shouldn't, reach out to us on any of the social medias. Go to averageslowpitch.com. There's a contact us page. You can shoot an email. You can text. I will get back to you as fast as I can. Using this off season to really do a whole bunch of stuff with the family as well. Got 4 kids, so that keeps me plenty busy, along with obviously kind of these videos, but I will get back to you, I promise. If it's been more than 24 hours and I haven't gotten back to you, shoot me another message, whatever it might be. I easily could have thought I replied, saw it, just forgot about it. You're not gonna bother me. Shoot me a message, I'll help you out. And as always, if you wanna pick any of these up, head over to headbangersports.com, especially on the Tantrum, code ADS. Juno, code ADS. Currently, they're running a sale. As long as you see those bats on sale for, I think it's $249.95 or $259.95, codes won't work, but I promise you that code will work in the future. Don't have a code for you to grab the Fat Boy, but if you reach out, I'm sure I can get you in touch with somebody to get you the best price possible. But if you ever need help picking up any gear, regardless of kind of what site it's on, if I don't have a code or a link to help you out with that, or I can't personally kind of hook you up with it, I'm sure I can find somebody to square you away, get you whatever bat it is you want, whatever gear it is you want at the best price possible. So either way, hopefully you enjoyed it. Like being able to get some of these one pieces out here. Again, it's always great when everything we swing that night is really, really good. Glad for Junior to be out here with us. Again, we're going to try to get as many videos as we can this winter with different stuff, but we have to kind of play the elements. So either way, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.